Okay, so today we're going to create part number 4 here, this axle that goes with this assembly. And there's a specific way that you need to create it because there's a couple little features here. So if we look at it quickly, the way this thing works is it passes through here. It has a retaining ring that holds a bearing on, which is obviously an important feature. The other feature that's very important is even though it looks like a retaining ring groove at the end here, it's not actually a retaining ring groove. The way this works is there's a little adjustment plate over here, or keeper plate as they like to call it, and this thing is assembled to the side of this trolley, and basically by sliding it up into place and then tightening it up, it actually keeps that shaft from sliding out this way. Now, this could also have been done with a retaining ring, but this is certainly a really easy way that you could do sort of the same thing, and it's fairly easy to disassemble, whereas a retaining ring sometimes can be a little bit difficult, can leave a little slack. Maybe you can hold this a little bit more precise, but there's a specific way that we're going to make this thing. So I'm going to move it to another screen, and we're going to work on it in here. So all I've done so far is I started a new part and I named it MS106-04 because that is the project code for my students this year. So the way we're going to start this, obviously because it's round, is going to be with a revolve command. And then once we go into the revolve command, I'm going to hold right click, go to define internal sketch, and I'm going to kind of orient it in the direction that it was shown in the picture. So I'm going to pick this side plane, and then I'm going to middle click to go into my sketch, and it's going to automatically rotate for me, or I could hit this if it didn't. So now there's a couple things I can think about. When you make a shaft, it's kind of tough where I want to put my reference line. What I usually do, unless there's a really critical surface, what I'll usually do is just put it on one end or the other. Now just out of just like my natural way of doing this is I usually put it on the side that has like a bigger extrusion, but there's not really any rhyme or reason to why you have to do that. So I'm going to start with the center line. I'm going to put that center line right through here just by clicking on the line twice. Then I'm going to create my general shape. Now what you're going to notice is that I am not going to draw the grooves right now, and the reason for that is I could put them all in the same sketch, but retaining ring grooves could go away in a design. So what I don't want to do, okay, is have them in here where once I create my sketch here, I don't want to have them in here. I'm just going to middle click a couple times. I don't want to have them in here where now I have two separate surfaces here, because if I had this retaining ring groove right here like this, the way Creo is going to see this is that this is one surface now once it revolves, and this is one surface now. And the disadvantage of that would be if I reference that surface and then I went through and removed this groove and this all became one surface, something in my assembly could lose a reference. So I usually make retaining ring grooves as their own separate features, and that's the reason I do that. So now I have my dimensions in, but if you don't know how to put a diameter dimension in, I'll go over it. Maybe you do know, maybe you forgot. I'm going to pick dimension. I'm going to left click right here. I'm going to left click my center line. I'm going to left click the line again. I'm going to middle click to place it in there. Okay. Now the other dimensions I need are all in here, but I'm going to put them in just for the heck of it. So I'm going to go from here over to here, middle click, and then let's see, the more functional dimension would be the end here. So I'm going to go from this line to this line. I'm going to move up here and middle click. And the last one needs the diameter on the back. I have it right here, but I'm going to put it in. So I'll go outside, center line, outside line again, middle click over here. And what you're doing there is you're simulating measuring from the outside of a round surface to the center to the outside of it, again, which is basically what a diameter is. All right. So now this is much too big, so I'm going to scale it all down. The way I'll do that is I'll middle click a few times to go back to this arrow up here. I'm going to draw a big box around everything. I'm going to hold right click, and I'm going to go to my modify command. I'm going to lock the scale, and there's ways around this. You can change your general graphic space off the bat by changing your datum planes, but it's a simple thing that's going to work on any Creo that you install. So I double click my first section here, and it highlights this one. Now on my drawing, if I look at this, my diameter on the end is 0.7871 to 0.7867. Okay, now I'm going to model to the nominal, the middle of that. So I'm going to go lock scale if I haven't already. Then I'm going to go 0.7869. Hit enter. Everything's going to scale down. Now I'm going to hit OK. And then I'll just refit by clicking up here. And now everything's at a much more reasonable size. All right, so now I'm going to go through, change my other diameter. My other diameter is 0.1178 to 1175. So I'm going to go 1.11765. It's pretty accurate. And then I'm going to change my overall length to 2.875. And then I'll zoom out a little bit more. This one down here is going to be 0.843. Ooh. 843. I'm going to hit enter. Now my axle here is the right size. I'm going to hit the check box. It's going to show my axle here. All right, and now I'm just going to middle click. All right, to complete it. Now I've got to put my grooves in. I always put the grooves in before I put any chamfers or fillets. Main reason for that is I want all of my surfaces all split up, all my features in there, because when we're rapidly designing things, all right, we may have certain features go away, and fillets and chamfers tend to be the first things to fail because they reference those things that are going away. So I'm going to go up to Revolve again. All right, I'm going to pick that same side plane. And just because there's no disadvantage to it, I'm going to actually put both of these in the same feature. All right, because it's really not that big of a deal to go through and delete them afterwards. If I needed to, I can just come in here and delete, a little rectangle that I'm going to put in. So first thing I do with any Revolve, I put my center line in by clicking on this line and then clicking on it again. I'll middle click a few times. And the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hold right click for a second. Okay. And I'm going to go to, is it not there? All right, well, I'll go to it up here. So I'm going to click on references, and I'm going to pick this top line and this side line, and then, or this line up here, and then I'm going to pick this side one over here, because that's where I'm going to dimension to, because my bearing is going to fit from here to wherever the retaining ring is. So I want to be able to control these widths. So I'll add this in too. Whatever I don't use, I don't use. All right, so I'm going to hit close. Now I'll put some rectangles in. So I've got one up here. I'm going to make sure, you see that dotted line that pops up? I'm going to drag it down a little bit just to make sure, because this is going to put a constraint that makes it in line with that. So I'm going to go down so that doesn't happen. Then I'm going to come over here. I'm going to put a similar thing. See, same sort of thing. I got to pay attention to these things that are popping up while I'm sketching. So I'm going to go down so it's its own unique thing. All right, now I'm going to put in dimensions. All right, so for this one down here, one of the dimensions is from the end. That makes sense. How much is going to stick out? And then one of them is going to be for the width. So I'm going to left click, middle click. And then one of them is going to be for the diameter. So bottom line, center line, bottom line again, middle click. And this one again, of course, I'll need a groove with. And the other thing with retaining rings, and they don't actually dimension it this way. Typically, the way that retaining ring manufacturers will tell you to dimension this is to go from the outside line here to the inside, because then your function here is a sum of the width of the bearing, which tends to be very accurate within, maybe 0.5 of a thousandth of an inch. And the thickness of your retaining ring, so the maximum thickness. But they don't give me that, so I'm going to go from here to here and middle click, and I'm going to put a diameter in again. So diameter, center line, line again, middle click. Okay, now to put my dimensions in. So this one over here is 0.1875. This one over here is 0.141. This one over here is 0.875. Guess that's one advantage. That doesn't have to be super accurate. Just has to have enough to put it in place. So this one's going to be 0.5545. This one's going to be, let's see, 0.102 for the nominal. And my diameter is going to be 0.657. Okay. So now I'm going to hit my checkbox. Creo is going to understand, hey, you know what? You put a solid on top of a solid you probably want to cut, which is exactly what I want. And now I'm just going to middle click to put those in. All right, now I have some chamfers I need to put in. So first one is going to be this end. I'm going to hold control and I'm going to pick the other end. And they give me a number of 0.625, but I know that's not right because my overall diameter is barely over an inch. So I'm going to go 0.0625. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch this D by D up here to 45 by D. And the reason for that is your dimension is going to show up really, really nice when you show it on the drawing with a 45 by 0.0625, just like that. So I'll go middle click, put that in place. And then the last feature I have, did I miss one? Yep, I did. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to right click my chamfer. I'm going to right click my chamfer. Chamfer's a little sleepy today. I'm going to edit the definition. I'm going to hold control again, very important. Put it all in the same set. I'm going to put that one in there too. I'm going to middle click. All right, now I just have a round that's left. The round's real small. So I'm going to go fill it. I'm going to pick this little edge right in here. And I'm going to make that 0.03125. It's for a little round for my bearing. I'm going to middle click to put it in place. And now I've completed the axle. So I'm going to save it. Okay, and then I'm done with my piece.